Diddy may encounter additional charges as a sex worker provides testimony before the grand jury. Greetings to everyone. Today's video will address the possibility that Diddy may confront further charges as a grand jury reviews testimony from a male sex worker concerning his purported involvement in sex trafficking and racketeering. The grand jury is examining whether Diddy employed drugs, threats, and violence to manipulate individuals attending his freak-off parties, with indications that he may have transported male escorts across state lines. Diddy's attorney asserts that all interactions were consensual, and Diddy is keen to testify in the forthcoming trial, where he is facing 3 federal charges. Without further delay, let us begin our discussion. Diddy may encounter additional charges in light of his recent arrest for sex trafficking and racketeering, as a grand jury has received sworn testimony from an individual engaged in sex work. As reported by TMZ, jurors were presented with testimony from an additional male escort who purportedly received a request from Puffy to take part in one of his freak-off sexual gatherings. The grand jury purportedly inquired into the travel of the sex worker and sought to determine whether such travel involved crossing state lines or an international boundary. Inquiries were made regarding remuneration for sexual services, particularly concerning whether the payment was made in cash or through wire transfer. Prosecutors continue to engage with witnesses as they consider the possibility of incorporating additional charges into Diddy's case through a superseding indictment. This marks the second identified male sex worker to step forward following the mogul's arrest earlier this month. Prosecutors engaged with a sex worker last week who provided footage of an unusual incident and entered into a proffer agreement which allows them to present evidence without the concern of self-incrimination. According to reports, in May 2023, an individual traveled from Atlanta to Miami and engaged in sexual activity with an unidentified woman while Diddy observed and recorded the incident. Prosecutors assert that these encounters lacked consent and that Diddy employed drugs, violence, threats, and blackmail to coerce women into participation. Furthermore, it is alleged that he facilitated the transportation of male sex workers both across state lines and internationally. Mark Agnifilo, the attorney representing Diddy, has asserted that all sexual interactions were consensual. He stated to the New York Post, "These are consensual adults engaging in activities that consensual adults partake in. We must not adopt an excessively puritanical perspective in this country, believing that sex is inherently negative. If that were the case, humanity would cease to exist." Agnifilo further informed TMZ that Diddy is anticipating his testimony in the forthcoming trial. The attorney remarked, "I'm uncertain whether I can prevent him from taking the stand. He appears quite enthusiastic about sharing his narrative, and I believe he will disclose every aspect of his account, including what is depicted in the video." He added, "I anticipate that both of us will provide clarification on the matter." Diddy is confronted with 3 federal charges, namely racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for the purpose of engaging in prostitution, and he will remain incarcerated without the possibility of bail until the trial commences. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.